Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Book Whisper YouTube channel, your space for everything book related. Today, we're diving into a beloved tale known worldwide, The Little Prince. Originally titled Le Petit Prince, this short story by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry explores the contradictions of adulthood and the quiet ache of growing older. It tells the tale of an aviator, an old term for a pilot, who crash lands in the desert and meets a very unusual boy. Strangely, both have fallen from the sky. This story celebrates the innocence and wonder of youth, which help an adult rediscover happiness in the stars. It's a reflection on love, friendship, and the emotional truths that can't be seen, only felt. Once upon a time, there lived an aviator who felt alone among people. Unlike most adults who obsessed over irrelevant things like house sizes and math, he was imaginative, craving to draw and create things that require depth to understand. But adults rarely care about such silly things. As a child, he had drawn a boa constrictor swallowing an elephant, a wild image meant to express danger. But every adult he showed it to thought it was just a hat. They urged him to focus on more practical subjects like math and grammar. Eventually, he followed their advice, which led him to feel isolated. One day, flying over the Sahara Desert, his plane crashed. Upon waking, he was greeted by a boy asking him to draw a sheep. Puzzled but intrigued, he tried. When he drew his snake elephant again, the boy recognized it for what it was, something no adult had ever done. Still, the boy insisted on a sheep. Each attempt was met with disapproval. Too sick, too old, or not a sheep at all. Finally, the aviator drew a simple box and told the boy the sheep was inside. This time, the boy smiled and accepted. That's how the aviator came to know the little prince. The boy was mysterious, a bit sad, and slowly shared his tale. He came from a tiny asteroid barely larger than himself. It had 3 volcanoes and hidden baobab seeds. Every day, the prince would clean his volcanoes and pull up the dangerous seeds before they could grow into giant trees. One day, a strange new plant appeared. The prince nurtured it until it bloomed into a gorgeous rose. Although beautiful, the rose was self-centered and demanding. She constantly complained about imaginary drafts and boasted about her looks and thorns. The prince loved her deeply, caring for her with shields and covers. But eventually her vanity wore him down, and he decided to leave. It wasn't until he was far away that he realized how much the rose truly meant to him. She had shown love in her own way, through her scent and beauty. Not with words, but the prince had been too young to understand that at the time. His journey took him across space, where he met many strange characters. A proud king with no one to rule, a drunkard drinking to forget his shame, a businessman counting stars just to own them, a lamplighter stuck in a meaningless routine, and a geographer who refused to record fleeting things like flowers. Each grown-up seemed confused or obsessed with meaningless ideas. Eventually, he arrived on Earth, landing in the world's largest desert. At first, he met no humans, only a snake who spoke in riddles. The snake told him about Earth's vastness and people's loneliness. He offered to help the prince return home one day, if he ever felt too homesick. As the prince explored Earth, he met more intriguing beings: a flower in the sand, an echo in the mountains, a railway worker sending passengers back and forth, a merchant selling thirst-quenching pills, and finally, a garden full of roses that looked exactly like his. Realizing his rose wasn't unique broke his heart, and he wept bitterly. Then he met the fox. The fox asked the prince to tame him, meaning to form a bond, a connection. He explained that once someone is tamed, they become special. Out of all the people and foxes in the world, they would know and need each other. The prince agreed to tame him, understanding that it would take patience and ritual. With time, they grew close. The fox, once bored by chickens and hunters, found joy in the prince's footsteps and the golden wheat that reminded him of the boy's hair. But when it came time to say goodbye, the fox was heartbroken. Still, he shared a vital truth. The prince realized he had tamed his rose. The time he spent watering, protecting, and caring for her, that made her special. And when you tame something, you're responsible for it forever. On the 8th day of their friendship, the prince finished telling the aviator his story. Their water had run out, so they searched the desert together. Along the way, the prince remarked how the desert's beauty lay in the hidden water underneath. When they finally found a well, the prince offered the aviator a gift. The aviator's plane was nearly fixed, and it was time to say goodbye. The little prince said he too was going home, and that when he laughed from the stars, all the stars would laugh with him just for the aviator. That night, the prince left quietly and found the snake from before. The snake bit him, sending him back to his planet. The aviator, though heartbroken, was forever changed. He began drawing again and shared this story with the world. At its core, the little prince reminds us of something simple yet powerful, that the most important things are felt with the heart, not seen with the eyes. As the fox says, what is essential is invisible to the eye. In a world where adults obsess over numbers, appearances, and logic, aren't we all just searching for love, joy, and meaning? Isn't a person's character more important than their job title or looks? Isn't imagination just as vital as facts? When we forget these things, we lose a piece of ourselves. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this summary, you can find The Little Prince at Book Whisper. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you next time, and keep on reading.